Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to unwinterize your RV. This is my particular RV. It's a 2010 Arctic Fox 811 truck camper. But the same general principle applies to most RVs. So first I'll grab my little water heater flush tool. Got a hose out here all ready to go. My anode rod drain plug is already out. Pull that out to drain the water heater in the wintertime, and I just leave it out. Actually, I sort of partially thread it back in and then pull it back out. When I get ready to do this, most of the junk comes out when I drain the water heater, but as you can see, there's a little bit of residual particles and stuff down there in the bottom. Low point drain valves are located. I will open those up. If I was going to be using the RV right away, I wouldn't have a problem just running a little bit of water into the tanks, but it's probably going to be a few more weeks, maybe longer, before I have the time available to take the rig on a trip. So instead of flushing the lines and running water into my waste tanks, I'll flush the lines and run water outside of the tanks with these low point drains. Okay, so then moving inside. So once we're inside, find the location of your water heater, the back side of it. There's a little valve. Most water heaters should have this valve. That's the bypass valve, and here you can see where I've labeled that. Kind of hard to see in the dark here, but with that valve pointed up, that bypasses the water heater. Because I'm still not going to use the rig yet, I'll leave that in bypass mode. And once I fill my water tanks, I'll switch that over to the fill position so I can run water into the water heater. So we'll leave that in bypass mode for now. I'm down here under the step to my cab over bed area. There's a little door. That step door lifts up. And we've got another valve here. This valve controls water flow from the tank to the pump or from the winterization bypass hose. So again, the valve points to the direction that the water is coming from or to. So this hose comes from the tank. This brings the water in through my winterization hose. So what this winterization hose lets you do is suck water directly from a jug of antifreeze rather than having to pour antifreeze into your freshwater tank and winterize it that way. Some RVs have this hose, some don't. Generally the hose, if the RV has it, it's going to be tucked away someplace under a cabinet. Generally it's fairly close to the water pump or the water tank. And because I'm, again, still not ready to use the RV, what I will do instead of running fresh water into my tank is I'll just draw some fresh water out of this winterization hose from a jug. Okay, so I've got a jug of water here now. Pull my winterization hose out, poke it into the jug, make sure the jug isn't going to tip over or anything, and then I'll turn on my pump. The water is flowing now, and I've closed up the hot water and I'm just running through the cold water right now. Okay, I hear the pump gurgling a little bit, so that means my jug is about empty. So I've flushed out the hot water lines as well, and now I'm going to go ahead and run a little bit of water through the faucets. Again, I'm doing it this way with a cup catching the water because I don't want to run any water into my tanks yet. So if you had antifreeze in the lines, which you would still have a little bit in the faucet lines and whatnot, just run some water through the hose until all the antifreeze is out. Switch this over to hot here. Turn off my pump. Once the pump starts to suck water, the pump makes a very distinctly different sound compared to when it's just sucking air. And once all your faucets are done, then you'd want to go ahead and do the same thing for your toilet. You want all the antifreeze out of it. And since I was drawing water in to flush the system from a jug in my winterization hose, I want to open up the step here, tuck my hose back in place, and then my winterization valve, this is where it was in winterization mode. I'll flip it back over here so that it draws water from the tank. And when I'm ready to head out on my first trip, after I fill the water tank, I'll come down here, flip this bypass lever over to the fill position, and open up one of the faucets and let the hot water heater fill itself up with water. And the last step for me for unwinterizing my RV is to reinstall the anode rod drain plug in the water heater. Start to finish, the de-winterization process only takes me about 20 minutes.